All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We are cracking open the working manuscript of a brand new urban fantasy thriller to give you a behind-the-scenes look at its world, its characters, and a central mystery that kicks off with a terrifying scream in the dark. And boom, the story just opens with that single brutal line. There's no slow burn here. You are thrown immediately into this savage attack in the Colorado foothills. The stakes are made terrifyingly clear from the very first page. So when a crime is this brutal, where do you even begin? Well, the investigation starts with the poor soul who has to find the body. And this is where we meet State Trooper Bear Masters. Now, this is a guy who's probably seen his fair share of tough stuff on the job, but what he finds in the woods, it is beyond anything he's ever experienced. The body is so destroyed, his first thought is, okay, a wild animal, but the pure ferocity of it tells him this was something else entirely.
Bear knows this is way beyond his pay grade. You know? It's beyond any normal police procedure. So his next call isn't to the FBI or some other state agency. No, he's calling a completely different kind of team.
And that call, it goes to a really close-knit family living in a secluded mountain home. A family that is guarding a massive secret that's about to be put to the ultimate test.
The manuscript introduces us to the Pack, and listen, they aren't just a team, they are a found family of werewolves. They all live together in this sprawling home they call the Lodge, and it's just like a regular family. They have dinners, they have chores, and a very clear hierarchy led by their alpha, Mitch.
And right away, we meet two characters who really define the Pack's internal drama. On one hand, you've got CC. She's a former bounty hunter, the newest member, and she's still trying to figure out this whole new life. And then there's Reggie, the prodigal son, who broke the Pack's trust and has just come back. So right there you have this classic insider versus outsider conflict, and it makes you wonder where loyalties really lie.
So you can imagine the tension, right? Bear's call lands smack dab in the middle of Reggie's first, incredibly awkward dinner back home. The fragile peace is just shattered, and in an instant, all that simmering family drama has to take a back seat to a full-blown supernatural investigation.
So, with the Pack on the case, this investigation immediately takes a turn down a very twisted path of supernatural misdirection. And the first major clue they find, it's a real shocker. At the crime scene, Odessa, one of the Pack's leaders, she discovers the victim has been completely drained of blood. Now for werewolves, that means one thing, and one thing only. Their ancient enemies, the vampires.
But of course, it's not that simple. This is where we start to see the complex politics of this whole supernatural world. Mitch, the alpha, goes to meet the local vampire leader, who flatly denies they had anything to do with it. But then, he does something really unexpected. He offers a lead, a specialist, who might be able to figure out who the real killer is.
And that specialist is this guy, Dr. Eben Moore. He's a forensic pathologist, but he's also a sorcerer. And he is a real character. He's jumpy, high-strung, always chewing on a toothpick, and he survived a vampire attack, which has made him, let's just say, not a huge fan of them. But his specialty? It's exactly this kind of bizarre, supernatural murder. So, Dr. Moore takes one look at the evidence and just throws that whole vampire theory right out the window. He says the attack was way too brutal, too messy. His conclusion is even weirder. He says it was a hellhound, a magical creature basically summoned to do one single destructive job.
Dr. Moore assures them that a hellhound is basically like a magical fire-and-forget missile. Once its task is done, it just vanishes. So the key takeaway is the danger's gone, the case is, for all intents and purposes, closed. Or so they think. Just when you think everybody can finally breathe a sigh of relief, that's when the manuscript takes its absolute darkest turn. Yeah, that relief does not last long, because a second body shows up at the morgue, and this changes everything. The victim is a werewolf, one of their own. And the scent left at the scene, it isn't just rage or hunger. It's the unmistakable scent of sadistic pleasure. The killer is still out there, and it enjoys its work. So now the mystery is back, and it is deeper than ever. The vampire theory? Debunked. The hellhound theory? Also debunked. The Pack is right back at square one, facing a predator that is actively hunting their kind. But, and this is the really cool part about getting to see the author's outline, we get the answer the characters are so desperately searching for. The real killer, the thing that is truly hunting them, is a ghoul. So back in the story, Dr. Moore discovers the final clue, a little rune amulet left at the new crime scene. It's basically a calling card, and he identifies it as the signature of a ghoul, a creature that is far more intelligent and malicious than a vampire or some mindless hellhound.
You'd think that finally giving the monster a name would bring some relief, right? Wrong. All it does is bring this chilling realization that the hunt has only just begun.
And this is where the author's outline just punches you in the gut. To catch the ghoul, the pack decides to set a trap, and they use the alpha's own wife, Annie, as bait. But the plan fails. It fails catastrophically. Annie is killed, and the pack is absolutely shattered. Their hunt is no longer an investigation. It's a war for revenge.
And that's when the title of the book, Ghouls Rush In, just clicks. It's not just some clever pun, it's a promise of the devastation this creature is about to bring to the very heart of their family.
And the manuscript leaves us right there, on a knife's edge. The pack is broken, they're grieving, and they're facing an enemy that's more dangerous than anything they could have imagined. It sets up this desperate battle for survival, and it leaves us with a big question. Can they possibly survive this hunt, or will they become the next victims?